one of the biggest objections I hear against anarchy is that um, just that it won't work. They understand the moral arguments against the state, but they're saying, well, it's kind of a necessary evil that um, you could have these dispute resolution organizations, but eventually they would form a cartel or they would become a de facto government. And I understand that, but my primary objection to the state has always been moral. Now, there's plenty of uh, pragmatic arguments, economic arguments against the state, and we can discuss those in other videos. But the main reason why I object to the government is because I think it's evil. The government is evil because it claims to hold a monopoly of force on a given geographical area. Um, and I don't think that's legitimate. Um, all that is might makes right. They're just saying we're in charge here because we have the guns, and ultimately that's what it boils down to. Now governments can only exist with a certain degree of consent of the governed. I mean, even the most tyrannical governments need their propaganda machines. Um, but that's why I kind of compare government to the institution of slavery. Now, slavery had has been is as old as civilization itself, right? And prior to 200 years ago, no one thought we could possibly abolish slavery. So 200 years ago, it would be just as radical to be an abolitionist as it would be to be an anarchist. But slavery has been abolished completely around the world. It doesn't mean that there isn't slavery anymore, but it's illegal everywhere. And of course, I think almost everyone agrees that that's a good thing. Well, um, if we can get rid of slavery, we can get rid of the government because we don't need it and it's evil. It basically takes your money and ultimately, with this threat of violence or through actual violence, it will appropriate your property, the fruits of your labor, in the form they call it taxes, but it's really just a form of theft. Taxes just means theft by the government. You know? And the first way to oppose that, I think, is just to withdraw your consent. Say, yeah, okay, I'm still going to pay my taxes because same way I would hand over my wallet to a mugger because I don't want to die or I don't want to be physically harmed. But it doesn't mean I think that it's legitimate to do so. It just means that I'm respecting the force, uh, not the moral legitimacy of the mugger or of the government. It's just a band of thugs. And if you are a government employee out there, yeah, I think you're working for thugs. You may not be personally, even conscious of all the harm that the government does to society. Um, and maybe you're doing it because you need to feed your family or something. But um, I can't. Well, let's see. Um, I don't know how to explain it really to someone who's kind of trapped in the system because I know many, many people, otherwise good people, who work for the government who just think that, well, the government provides vital services that we wouldn't have otherwise. And I just don't think that's true. I think that every vital service that the government provides, and it does provide vital services, could be more effectively, more efficiently provided by the market. And I think that if uh, all of our associations were voluntary, um, then the world would be a better place. I think that if it's wrong to initiate violence to get what you want, then it's also wrong for the government to initiate violence or to threaten violence. And that's what they do every time you get a tax bill. So um, that's where I stand. If you think otherwise, or you think that my reasoning is muddled, then you're welcome to share that with me, and I'll consider what you have to say. So thanks for listening to me ramble on again. So